back to the Spoonie Stitcher channel. I'm Shannon, the Spoonie Stitcher. That's Ariel. We're not inside the stitchery. We're still in my bedroom. I've got to add something to the background so it looks more interesting back here. If you haven't seen yet, this is my Broadway bear. This is Ariel. Say hi. Yes. So her video will be linked down below if you're interested in what she's all about. So Ariel is here because this is an appropriate video for her to be in. We are, well, you already saw the thumbnail, so you already know what this is all about. And you're wondering why a crochet channel is doing this. Yeah, well, because I've gotten Disney questions and because I've done pretty much nothing but Little Mermaid for over a month, I figured this just had to be said. So today I am doing a very quick review of what I thought of the new live action Little Mermaid. If you don't care about this video, that's fine. I don't actually expect it to get that many views. But the reason I am doing this on my channel is because it's a whole lot easier to answer this question one time than several times, because everybody's been asking me and my friends and family have been asking me what I thought of it. And it's just easier to just do it this way and send them the video. Please remember, all opinions are my own. If you agree or disagree with me, that's fine. If you want to have a civilized discussion in the comments, that's fine. But please remember, agreeing to disagree is still an option. This will be a spoiler review. I'm just gonna say it. I tried to make it a not spoiler review, but that was impossible because of the things I wanted to talk about. So this is your spoiler warning. If anyone wants to leave, they can now. I'll wait. Has everybody left? Are we good? Are we clear? Cool. Let's talk about music. Let's talk about the old songs first. The old songs are Part of Your World, Under the Sea, Poor Unfortunate Souls, Kiss the Girl, and Fathoms Below. Little Thing by Vanessa, and then the Part of Your World reprise. So, Part of Your World was stunning. Halle Bailey did an amazing job. It worked well. It was beautiful. There's a reason that they keep having her perform it everywhere. Under the Sea was underwhelming. Vocally, Daveed Diggs did a great job. And I loved how Halle joined him for several moments of it. The harmony was really cute. But visually, I didn't really like how they laid it out. And it was very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. Poor Unfortunate Souls, Melissa knocked it out of the park. I mean, she really nailed it. She really did. It was fantastic. I highly recommend going to listen to it, even on the soundtrack, even without the visuals. Her voice, she can sing. Oh yeah, she can sing. Taking out body language is taking out part of one of Howard Ashman's best lines he wrote. Sorry, it just is. Kiss the Girl, interesting choices were made. Consent line confused me, but it didn't take away from the song, so I got over it. But three-part harmony with Scuttle and Flounder and Sebastian, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I like the original. End of story. Fathoms Below. Could you even call it Fathoms Below? They sang one verse. That's it. One verse. That's it. That was the whole song. I don't even know why they kept it in the movie, because they barely touched on it. And they cut it off super fast. It was very weird. It was a very strange cut. Very strange. So if you saw my Broadway Bears video number 2, then you know that Disney has the rights because they made a Broadway show of The Little Mermaid with Alan Menken doing music and Glenn Slater adding extra lyrics. So for the movie, they wanted to add new songs to the live action movie. And they needed a lyricist, so they picked Lin-Manuel Miranda, who is a huge Little Mermaid fan. So huge that he named his son Sebastian. Not a joke, you can look it up. He and Alan Menken joined forces and they wrote 5 new songs. Kind of 4, but technically 5. So Little Mermaid has Part of Your World and then Part of Your World reprise. It's already in the 1989 film, you know that. They added a second one, which kind of explains what happens later, which is kind of nice. It's technically the 5th song they added. But I just told you that there's a Broadway show of the same name. It's the same story. They have the rights to it. They could have used music from there. They chose not to. Rob Marshall's decision. And so they have new songs. All right. Eric has to sing a song called Wild Uncharted Waters. The song itself is not bad. The only thing that makes it less appealing is when you give it to somebody who they can't sing in that range. And several parts of the song you can literally see his neck on screen straining to hit certain notes. I feel very, very bad for him because he was really trying. They chose that song for Jonah. They wrote that song. Lynn wrote the lyrics. Alan wrote the music. Nothing's wrong with the song. Just give it to a singer who can sing it. But they could have given him her voice from the Broadway show. That is in his range. It's a lower register song. He could have sung that instead. One thing I did like about Wild Uncharted Waters is Ariel's Okay, Wild Uncharted Waters bridge is the reverse, as if he's using her tune to find his match. So it's like his tune is the reverse and her tune is the forward version. That's really clever orchestration right there. For the First Time is Ariel's song when she is on land and she's experiencing everything for the first time. Very cute, very fun, very fast number. Lin-Manuel's songs usually sound like somebody's running, and that's exactly how she sounded. Now remember, she cannot speak, but she sings as if it's in her head, and she portrays everything she's singing really well on her face without actually moving her lips. I'm very impressed with how she portrayed that song. Is it a great song? It's fine. It's fun. Vanessa's Trick. This is a beautiful aria type song. It's just notes and a singer with a lot of ahs in it. It's very siren-esque, so that was an interesting choice. But they easily could have had Vanessa's Trick and Vanessa's little mini song from the 1989 movie in one moment and then end with the So Long Red and Laugh. Easily could have fit that all in there and it wouldn't have added like any time to the movie at all. I wish they'd done that just so it was like paying homage to both. I think that would have been nice, but it's just me. And of course Hallie did an amazing job. You know, I like some rap music and I like Daveed Diggs rapping. He rapped a little bit in one of the songs, I forget which one, but he rapped at the end of the Scuttlebutt song, and when he and Awkwafina rapped together, it sounded okay. Still doesn't fit the movie. It doesn't. But at least when they were rapping together, it sounded better. Awkwafina, she wasn't even really rapping, she was squawking like a bird, and it didn't fit. And it added too much time to the film. Easily could have been just talking. She could have said, hey, this is what's happening. And they could have said, really? Great. I didn't even add 30 seconds to this video by doing that. So all in all, the new music really didn't add anything to the movie, in my opinion. You could have easily left stuff out and it wouldn't have mattered. The strongest of the new songs is For the First Time, definitely. Second place would be Wild Uncharted Waters, and it's just because Jonah can't hit certain notes that it's lower, because honestly, if he could hit those notes or if they had brought it down for him to sing it, then they could have been equal. Overall, I thought everyone was a great actor. I thought Melissa and Hallie and Jessica, that was Ariel, Ursula, and Vanessa, were the best. Also Jonah. Jonah was really good as Eric. Ariel was phenomenal. Singing, acting, whatever. She portrayed innocence, curiosity, strength, all kinds of things, and she did it all without talking. Now that's an actress. And then voice acting wise, I thought Daveed was the strongest, but Awkwafina, who plays Scuttle, and Jacob, who plays Flounder, they were also very, very good. My favorite actor in the whole movie is Max. We all know Max deserved more scenes. He is so cute. Oh my gosh, this dog. Apparently one of the reasons he wasn't in a lot of scenes was because he just wanted to love on everybody and play, and apparently he was a little difficult to train at times, but he's so cute. He's so cute, and I love that it's a real dog. Okay. Weakest actor of the whole thing is King Triton. Okay, Javier tried so hard. He did really well as commander of the sea and ruler of the ocean. Like, that is his wheelhouse. I mean, he did well as a protective father, but he lost his vulnerability. He needed some pain. You know, there was obvious pain, but he needed to show it. And I'm not talking like he needed to cry. I'm talking like when he warned Ariel, it needed to be more than just fear. It needed to be, you needed to see the pain in his eyes and the fear in his voice. It needed to be more than just scaring her. Didn't come across as, you can't because I'll lose you too. It came more across, I'm your dad and I say so. Which, to be fair, she should still listen. But as an audience, you want to kind of feel for him. You want to be able to see that vulnerability. He got a little bit vulnerable at the end. Good for him. So he can do it. So just put it in more scenes. Okay, whoever does the visuals for Disney, whoever does their marketing and advertising, why do you still work there? Seriously, your posters and your trailers are muddy and dark and there's no life. There's no life in them. It's just when they started to show like some of the clips that actually made me want to see this movie. Because the muddy trailers and the dark posters, seriously, the posters make everybody look like they're a villain. I take it back. Prince Eric's doesn't look as villainy. And they've done this before. They released the trailer to the Aladdin movie before they were done fixing the genie. Who does that? If they beg you for a trailer and you don't get one until it's really good, they'll thank you for it. Don't release bad, unfinished. I mean, there were some trailers where Flounder didn't even look finished yet. Anyway, I'm here to tell you, whatever you see in the clips, trailers, posters, the movie looks nothing like that. It's gorgeous and totally worth seeing on a theater screen because you want to see the big ocean and the beautiful landscapes. And there's one moment in the movie where Eric and Ariel go to like a market and they fills the screen with all of these vendors and stuff, and it's fantastic. And Jodie Benson makes a cameo. Just saying, that was a nice touch. Yeah, it's fantastic. Oh, side note about the market. Okay, this has nothing to do with The Little Mermaid, but if you watch Death in Paradise, there is a guy who's in every single episode, and my parents and I even look for him now. He hacks a coconut in two. I know it's not the same actor, but when a coconut person hacked a coconut on the screen and they like zoomed in on him. I know that they showed it because of what Scuttle said earlier in the movie and they want Ariel to see it and she's like, oh my gosh, it's true. But the fact that he kind of showed up in this movie, my mother and I immediately looked at each other and we were like, that's him! Okay, sorry, it's a fun little side note. If you like Death in Paradise, you understand why we'd get excited. If you haven't seen it, first of all, if you like a mystery show, it's a great show. It's on PBS. So. Anyway, the sets were fantastic. I love that they filmed on location. That's really fun. Pretty much they left CGI in the ocean and everything else was real, which was really nice. The castle they filmed at was really beautiful. I don't know where they were for that, but that's really nice. One thing, Ursula's cavern was a bit too dark. There were times you couldn't see some things in there and I wanted to see a little bit more around her cavern, so they could have lightened that just a bit. And also the scene where you find out that Vanessa is really Ursula, very first part of that scene is too dark. You almost can't see Vanessa. And I don't think that was the intention because they are obviously trying to show her. The storyline is a little bit different. They did mix Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid with the 1989 Little Mermaid. And a couple of things from the Broadway show too. Yeah, don't think I didn't notice that, Rob Marshall. I totally did. For the most part, it's pretty much a Little Mermaid story you'd expect. The only Big changes are, originally in 1989, they were gonna make Ursula and Triton half siblings. They didn't do that, they changed their mind, but the Broadway version picked that back up, and then Rob Marshall decided to use that as well. So Ursula and Triton are siblings in this. Ariel saves Eric from the ship. She also saves him from Ursula. She kills Ursula. All right, I have a problem with this for one very specific reason. Eric killing Ursula shows Triton that, first of all, he risked his life to save him, save his daughter, and save the kingdom. That shows Triton that Eric is a decent human and he's different than the other humans. A human risked his life to save a mer person, okay? That shows Triton, this man can marry my daughter. In the new movie, Ariel saves Eric and her father and everybody, and she kills Ursula. The reason that doesn't work, I don't care if it's, well, it's because, women can save themselves and stuff like that. Okay, that's not the point. The reason it doesn't work is because what has Eric done to show Triton, not Ariel, Ariel can tell him all of these things. Well, he's done this and he's done that and he's done this, but Triton hasn't experienced it. I know that he's, into a little soul when he's, but he hasn't experienced it. So how does he know? I mean, he could believe his daughter. I mean, he didn't believe his daughter about humans before, so why now? That's the reason I think it doesn't work. And that's a change I would have made. Let Eric stab Ursula. It doesn't change your story of her being a strong woman. It doesn't. It shows her father, this is a good man for you. And yes, he is different. Flotsam and Jetsam don't speak. And it's never explained. Every other sea creature speaks and sings. But Flotsam and Jetsam don't. I thought they'd at least explain it, like she needed their voices to make a potion, or they gave up their voices to show loyalty, or I don't know, but nope, never explained. Almost every single article you'll read about The Little Mermaid will tell you Ariel and Eric don't get married in the end. That's not true. It's not true. She's even wearing the ring, and the queen makes a remark about how their marriage will change things. They are married. She's even in a wedding dress. It's a combination between the pink dress and the white dress, which was very, very clever. Colleen Atwood is a genius. The reason they're going off and exploring, that's their honeymoon. That's also why all the mer people are there. All the mer people and the humans are all gathered on the beach because they just got married. That's why they're there at all. Nobody is going just to see them off. They're going because it's a wedding. And she's wearing the ring, and they just said, your marriage will do this for us. I don't know why that's worth lying about, but okay, fine. But I'm just telling you, they got married, okay? It's a Disney movie. They get married. It happens. And it's been a lot of time between, because actually Ariel, once she saves everybody, she goes back into the ocean with her dad for a while. And it's her dad who finally says, she's unhappy here, and I could really, I know one thing that would make her happy, and then he turns her into a human, and then, they're married, okay? Some things I would have changed. I've already told you about some of them. I would have changed that Eric saves Ursula. I would have changed that Vanessa is on screen more, and you can see her. Seriously, lighting department, what happened? Anyway, she really needed scenes where she could show how manipulative she was. I really think this actress could have nailed that, and they just didn't let her do it, and I'm disappointed in that. The movie was 20 minutes too long. Minimum. 20 minutes minimum too long. Some scenes just dragged out, and they just did not need to be that long. And other scenes were too short, and you're like, but what happened? Okay, we were here, now we're not. Why? Some things were very disjointed and kind of weird. And then lastly, you're opening a musical. What do you think a musical should open with? Music! Music! Open with music! Seriously. We don't get anything till Part of Your World. Not that I think Daughters of Triton is like an amazing song or anything. And it's fine that they cut it. I didn't mind that at all. The sisters still had really great scenes. They need to be on screen more, that's for sure. And I needed backstories for 2 of them. But open with Fathoms Below. Just do it. It explains why they're afraid of mermaids, and it's a fun, jaunty little number. Open with Fathoms Below. End of story. Have your quote. That's fine. The quote from Hans Christian Andersen's book was very beautiful, and it did explain something later on in the movie, which was really, really well done. But then, like, pan to the sea and show the boat, and instead of just talking forever, there was so much talking. Way too much talking. Play Fathoms Below. It worked in 1989. It worked on Broadway. It'll work here. So my conclusion, 7.5 out of 10. I won't give it an 8. There's too much that they took out for extraneous reasons and that they made way too long in others. Also, this is not a kid's movie. This is not a kid's movie. This movie was made for adult nostalgia. However, because it was made for an adult nostalgia, the fact that they left some things out made no sense to me at all. It's like, well, it's not even for these kids. It's for us, so who cares? I would say if you have young children, make your own judgment call. You know what scares them and what doesn't. But I know that I told some of my friends with younger kids that they needed to probably preview this before they showed a younger kid. Some of the parts were scary for small children. But that's it. That's my 2 cents on this review. Be courteous to everyone in the comments. Not everyone's going to agree with you. That's life. If you have seen the movie, I am curious to know what you thought. Thank you for joining me on this very last Mermaid Monday of summer 2023. I know this video was very different from what I normally put on. Don't worry, there's lots of crochet content coming. I've got all kinds of stuff to come out this summer. Yeah, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Yarn Zebra family. That is what I call my subscribers over here. If you are a subscriber, you are a Yarn Zebra. I have all kinds of videos on my channel. I have my Broadway Bears, which, because I made some references to the Broadway show in this video, you might want to check that out to know what I'm talking about. Remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too. Bye.